everybody. I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Things Live. And today is, what do we have here? What is it? Thursday, March 5th. Oliver Rust, what's up, Oliver? Glad to see you here. Glad you can make it. Today, let's see. Today, DVS, good morning. Glad to see you here, DVS. Today, I'm going to kick this episode off by talking about an article I read that led my thought train off in a different direction. But I'll start with the article. The article was about a guy who had like $20,000 worth of PlayStation games on his account, And Analog Kid, what's up? Good morning. He had $20,000 worth of PlayStation games on his account, and they just got wiped, got deleted or whatever, you know what I mean? And there was no getting them back. He's trying to call Sony and get through to them. And the thing is that he didn't own it. He thought he owned those PlayStation games, but it turns out that he didn't, right? And that's what I've been talking about, ownership of things now and all this digital shit. And they're herding us toward these subscription-based things where, where we're no longer the owner of things. We're actually renting them. Okay, we're renting our games, our movies, our music, our books, audiobooks. We don't own anything anymore. We're just lifetime renters. Just another guy in the woods, Mr. Hirsch, Jeff 7, Crabman, Doc the Butcher. What's up, Doc? Raziel. Good morning, everyone. Glad to see you. And you've all heard me talk about that stuff before about, ownership and how we're losing that. And as I went on, this technology, all technology is, basically what's the point of it, right? It's making stuff more convenient, right? But in the end, it's supposed to make us happier. Okay, all this technology, hanging with Christopher, connecting the rabbit holes. Bucky, what's up? Glad to see y'all here. So this technology is supposed to make humanity happier, right? And I think about that, and has it made us happier? And when you really start looking into that, my mind at first went back to, like, let's just say the late 1800s, when people didn't have as much technology. Were they happy? Were people just miserable back then? Were the suicide rates skyrocketing back then? Were depression rates and all that stuff just off the charts because they didn't have technology? Now we all know no. Okay, no, that's not the case. You could still be happy back then. You could, have a good life and without all that technology. I would argue that they were happier. They were more content with their lives back then. But why? Why is that? And for those who might argue, well, we don't know. They might have been miserable and shit. Okay. Well, let's look at the Amish then. The Amish today, their suicide rates are less than half of the average, the national average, less than half. I looked it up. They're healthier than the national average by a long stretch. The Amish are. And so why is that? Why? Okay. Now back in the 1800s, and probably it's probably true of a lot of the Amish today too. But back in the late 1800s, what was your normal day? You know, what was a day like? You had to go chop some wood and to keep warm, right? Yeah, you probably had to go outside to go to the bathroom and sit in a stinking ass um, outhouse. But what kind of bills did you have? You had a mortgage, probably. Okay. And maybe if you lived in the city or something, you had to buy coal or something to keep your house warm. You couldn't just go chop wood. Uh, what else? You know, what other bills were there? Maybe you might have had electricity if you were in lived in a city, but if you lived out in the country, you probably didn't even have electricity. So now look at it. Look at us today. What do we have? What kind of stressors do we have? What kind of bills? All right. Back then, they worked harder physically, but back then, a loaf of bread was 5 cents, and their money was worth more. So less of their time was needed to keep them alive, to keep them sheltered. Now we have to work 50, 60 hours a week just to keep a roof over our heads and keep some groceries in the fridge. We've got we've got rent or mortgage, car payment, insurance payment, phone bill, internet, all of these streaming services and gaming services, PlayStation, whatever, and Xbox, whatever, what you know what I mean, all that stuff. Electricity, credit cards, all these bills are hanging over our heads constantly, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And this is what technology has brought us. Uh, yeah, stuff is more convenient. Yeah, it's more convenient, but we're paying more for it and we're more stressed out over it. Our health is declining. We're you know this technology hasn't, we're not living to be 100, 110, 120 years old as our average life expectancy. That's not improved much over, maybe it's probably gone down, I would say, over the last 40, 50 years. uh, it's probably about the same as it was in the 70s or 80s, as it hasn't risen a whole lot. um, So that's another bill we have is our health care and whatever monthly, our prescriptions we got to pay, our monthly prescriptions and all this shit. All of these bills, where the Amish and the people in of older generations, well, they're dead now, but the people of the past, they didn't have all these bills, all this stress around them constantly. Gasoline, there's another one. You can't just park your car out in the field and let it eat grass like they used to be able to do with horses and stuff. So yeah, we're nickel and dime to death, crab man. And we don't own anything. We don't even own the shit we're nickel and dimed over anymore. You know? Yeah. Yeah, crab man. It's crazy. They are. Yeah, you currently own more boats than the Iranian Navy. Yeah, OG, Whole Foods and Zero Technology. Yeah, they're healthier, they're happier. And if we correlate happiness of a society with suicide rate, and depression rates and shit, well, the Amish are obviously happier than mainstream society. Yeah, DVS, people were kept physically occupied, which kept them in physically good shape and mentally up to par with common sense. Yeah. Yeah, ride our bikes to the park and go fishing, Roz. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that would be freedom and peace. And they used to have it. But now in the late 1800s, there was no income tax, right? You owned it, and probably no property tax. I don't know. I'd have to look that one up. But there was probably no property tax. You bought a piece of land and you owned it back then, I would assume. There was no income tax at all. So we're taxed before that. That was a bill I didn't even think of. 30% of our income is taken off the top now, which they didn't. The people of the 1800s didn't have to deal with that shit either. Um, but this technology of today is supposed to be, where we're told that it's the greatest shit since sliced bread, and all I see around me are people getting more and more miserable, more and more confused, more and more angry. You know, uh, Technology has created division, sickness, depression. Going to catch a big mouth bass analog? Hell yeah. Yeah, we also had the gold standard, OG. No inflation, no deficit. None of that shit existed back then, OG. Yeah. Yeah, you could die from a splinter back then. Yep, that is one thing that has to be stated when, the antibiotics that came out in the early 1900s, right after or during World War One. That was huge for humanity. Yeah. So Hearst is absolutely right. Um, but since then, that was the last thing they really cured was infection. You know, since then they haven't done a damn thing. They haven't cured anything else. Erica, what's up, Erica? Glad to see you here. Yeah, usernames, pins, and passwords. Yeah, the South Transfer Protocol. What's up? That's a $5 handle there. Yeah, there's a lot of syllables there. Yeah, that's another thing. We have to remember all that shit. You know what I mean? And then we're told to keep them all different, right? We can't use the same one over and over again, which makes sense. But still, you gotta all this shit. Then do you trust your browser or whatever to save it for you? Because somebody can hack in there and find all your passwords. And so it's all confusing. It's all a pain in the ass with all the usernames and pins and passwords and all this shit. Um, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Folding ladder, what's up? Glad to see you here. You can't die from a splinter. Yeah, yeah. I've wanted to die from a splinter. Some of them are so damn aggravating, and I just had one. I couldn't dig out of my thumb for like 2 weeks. It just sat there and hurt. Hey, all right, protocol. Glad to see you here, man. Glad you could make it. Yeah, yeah, me too, Hurst. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Folding ladder. These phones catch all our biometric data. I saw a thing there when that Facebook was basically a government. The government made Facebook, and then just picked somebody to give it to, and that project folded up in 2004, and Facebook went live in 2004 and all the ties to it and everything. But Facebook is basically a way to track everyone for life. And they do. If you let Facebook on your phone, then it's the worst tracker. If you look at the stuff, you think Google's tracking you until you put Facebook and Facebook Messenger on your phone and shit. Now you're really being tracked. Yeah, yeah. Oh, gee, no more can fit, huh? Never been one song from Iron Maiden. Oh, Cali. All right, California. That's the place I want to be. I'm loading up the truck and leaving Tennessee. Yeah, yeah, Christopher. Yeah, uh, it is. It's just. bullshit, really. Um, I hardly ever use it. I just, like I told you before, I post links to my videos on Facebook, but once in a while. But other than that, and I do keep in touch with a cousin on there, one of my cousins. But Hank Jr. and David Allen Coe, yeah, crab man. YouTube protocol, yeah, yeah. This is the one I use the most. YouTube, um, and Rumble too. I like Rumble. A lot of people don't though. I post to Rumble. I do my live streams and stuff to Rumble, but it nothing happens over there. It's all right though. Okay, you have a Facebook container that blocks Facebook trackers. Okay, sedition. Tell why you had to be a power slave. Um, because we were born into this shit. When uh, when an animal is born in a cage in the zoo, that's like the animal asking, "Why do I have to be born uh, a prisoner?" Why do I have to be a prisoner? You were born into it. I don't know what the hell to tell you. You know what I mean? We were just born into this shit. Yeah, yeah, Hurst. Yeah, everybody. Let's hope the best and send prayers to AF and Tripwire. Yeah, keep them in our thoughts. Rex Chaoticus, what's up? Oh, okay. Power Slave is Iron Maiden. Is that a song? Born into this. Yeah. Yeah, protocol. Yeah, we were born into it. Um, yeah, Christopher, fight or fight. But yeah, we're born into it. And that I've said that before because the bank was instituted in 1913, the Federal Reserve. We weren't the ones sitting around, accepting that shit. We didn't have anything to do with that shit. We were born into this. The folks that were alive in 1913 and accepted that shit, they bear the brunt of the responsibility, right? When Woodrow Wilson installed that bank, people should have revolted back then. Um, there was no reason for an income tax, but they bought that sorry ass line that it's temporary and all this shit. Uh, they bought it hook, line, and sinker. So and then later on, 10, 20 years later, whatever it was in the 30s and 40s, now they had the depression. So what a what a great way to get out of the depression, but to raise income tax and make it permanent. Um, and people were just so happy to have jobs. Yeah, sure, you can take your income tax as long as I can feed my family. Oh, oh, really, Gordo? I thought Rumble was a Canadian company. I could have swore that Rumble is out of Canada. That's crazy, and they won't let Canadians make accounts. That Oh, okay. You knew it would trigger memories. That's why you sent it. Okay. Like I say, I know songs here and there. I'm not real big into any one band or anything, so I'm not y'all will catch me like that. You'll make a song reference. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I just wasn't real big into music. I didn't have it when I was a kid. I was just I grew up poor. We didn't have Walkmans and boom boxes and shit. You know what I mean? You've been revolted for years, Jeff Seven. Yeah, yeah, protocol. Yeah, the Federal Reserve currency, fiat standard, all that shit from the installation of that privately owned bank to getting us off the gold standard and all this stuff. It's been a march toward uh, you know, economic doom for us, not for them, for us, for the people. It's great for them. Their machine is working perfectly. Jeff Boyardee, what's up? Hallowed be thy name, Doc. Yeah. Yeah, me too. I need to do the same, Oliver. I need to listen to some Maiden today. Yeah. Yeah, Bucky. Yeah, that's one of the craziest things about Generation X is how much has changed since we've been born, since we came into this world. How much the world has changed. There is no generation in history who has seen this much change. All right, and and the change is picking up speed. Before we leave this earth, no telling what AI and robotics and all this shit is going to do, right? There's just no telling. Um, the next 20 years might make the last 40 years look like a game of tiddlywinks or some shit as far as change goes. 11 Bravo, Oliver. I was 11 Hotel. Spent 4 years at 11 Hotel. Music keeps you somewhat sane. All right, Erica. That's the best some of us can hope for, huh, Erica? Is somewhat sane. Oh yeah. Oh gee, we always have money for war. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we always have money for war, but can't fix shit else. Can't fix the healthcare system, can't control or don't have money for our what's the one, overseeing the drugs and the food. We don't have money to put, to hire people to oversee, so they just oversee themselves. Yeah, self-regulation. Yeah, yeah, we'll just put the shit out there. Oh, we don't know if it causes cancer or what. We just put it out there. If it causes cancer, then hopefully it doesn't cause so much cancer that people throw a fit about it. Uh, and all we don't regulate these huge corporations, but we got plenty of money to for wars and for corruption and bribery. We can throw billions of dollars at Somali leering centers and shit. Yeah, that's fine, but we can't have healthy food, or you know we can't live our lives now without being on some kind of medication. Uh, the whole thing is corrupt and intertwined together. It's just all nonsense if you actually give it any thought. Comics, what's up? Glad to see you here. Nard DB, glad to see you too. 11 Hotel, motorized infantry. I was a tow gunner, um, anti tank. We rode around in Humvees with a big missile on top of the Humvee and a turret, and you shot the tow missile at tanks. It was an anti tank infantry MOS. What's 13? What's 13, Nard? Is that artillery? Oh yeah, the EPA. Yeah, that's so great. having them around. Yeah, me either, Oliver. Yeah, yeah. That and it's crazy. Ladder. You see these. I've watched these documentaries and this footage of the FBI kicking in doors. Um, kicking in Amish doors over raw milk, or kicking in small farmers' doors because they're sharing a cow with their neighbor, or you know what I'm saying? This kind of shit because they're selling raw honey or something. You know what I mean? Now the FBI's got plenty of money for that shit, but they just refuse to regulate big corporations. And actually, they'll attack us normal people, but they won't regulate these huge corporations. Raziel, thank you, Raziel. Angel Dust. That's a hell of a handle there. That's awesome, Angel Dust. Congratulations. Now you're a member of the True Elite Gen X Thinks membership. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Thank you, Raziel. Yeah, we have members only live streams on Sunday mornings, Angel Dust. If you're interested, we're talking about ancient technology now. We've been talking about it for a few weeks, but yeah, we get on there and talk about one subject. It's pretty damn interesting. Oh, okay. It was artillery. All right, Nard. I thought so. Your mom worked in the EPA. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, gee, he was in the National Guard. Yeah, yeah. Those engineers, those Army engineers, some of that shit they do is so awesome. Yeah, yeah, Christopher. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's true. I've watched the documentaries on it. See these six, big black SUVs pull up and FBI agents jump out, and it's a little tiny mom and pop store or something, and kicking their door in when these huge corporations, Pfizer and Del Monte and Tyson and all this shit, they're selling us poison, and uh, it's utterly and totally ass backwards on how it should be. You know what I mean? They should be raiding these damn places and hauling CEOs out and dragging them out into the street, and but but no, no. You tried joining the okay, I'll have to look at it again. When I follow the link, I check the link and it takes me right to the Discord, Lucas. Who was it? Somebody Melody was saying that too, that she was having trouble. I'll look at it. I don't know, maybe I accidentally deleted something off the end of it or something. Maybe, I don't know. I'll check it though, Lucas. Yeah. Matter of fact, here, just give me 1 second. I'll post it in the let me see. I'll post it in the comment right now. Let's see. Just see if I'll. Oh, come on. Just let me sign in. All right. There we go. Okay. Channel. Now, I'm not crazy familiar with Discord, so give me a second here. We've got some Discord experts, Raziel and Hurst. I wish one of them was here to help me. Okay. All right. Um, invite to server. Okay. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. Now put that link in here. All right. Now that is the link to Discord. Now I'm going to pin that comment. There we go. All right. So there's the link to Discord. Try that one. Anybody who's looking for the Discord. Pfizer and Musk. Today's circumstances for mass produced products. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it should, that kind of shit should be mandatory reading. We need to understand what the hell is actually going on with this shit. Yeah, the USDA. Oh man, it'll piss you off when you actually start thinking about it. Michael Moore documentaries. Oliver Stone South of the Border. Yeah, Christopher, I do too. It's a state of mind. It's a mindset. Gen X, to question things, to and, and a lot of that comes from our experience. We were free. We had a lot of freedom as children, and a lot of alone time, and cultivated a sense of self-reliance from childhood. So that created this mindset we have, that where we don't trust blindly. Don't, if someone knocks on the door, don't open the door. Your mom would tell you, don't open the door if somebody comes and knocks on it. So you didn't trust whoever was on the other side of the door. You didn't give a shit who it was. You didn't trust them. Freedom grower. What's going on with the shirt? What do you mean? What's up? The peachy shirt. It's the peachy. Your name is no one? Is that like a what was her name? The Stark girl. I'm no one. Born in East LA. Yeah, Hearst. Yeah. Yeah, Grapes of Wrath, Folding Ladder. Holy shit. Are you serious, Crabman? There's a shrink on YouTube that says it's unhealthy to question authority. And you think he's full of shit. I know what you're saying, but I think no, I know. That's one thing I can say I know for a fact, that dude is full of shit. Yeah. They talk about programming. If anything, I'm counter programming to that type of shit. No, question everything. It's unhealthy to just blindly trust authority. It's very healthy to question authority. Oh, Noon E. Okay. All right, Roz. You're going to go back in age from now on, Oliver? The doctor needs a wellness check. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's insane. It's unhealthy to question authority. Holy shit. Talk about some programming, some, psychological programming and shit. And how many people are going to listen to that dude and say, "Oh yeah. Oh, that makes sense." How many sheeple is he going to create? Yeah, me too, Rex. Hell, I question good authority. I question it all. Yeah, just authority, period. I just don't like being told what to do, period. Yeah, 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 comics. Yeah. Well, we do too, dude. Yeah, we do too. What the hell's wrong with this dude? Yeah. Yeah, Obama was a good president or whatever, Bush, whatever, and they've got Americans divided, or United States citizens divided, comics. And they'll just once they vote for a president, they just follow them, and approve and clap no matter what they do. They'll just approve and clap. Uh, and you can't convince them that president can do any wrong because he had my vote. They don't question anything. So it's confusing up here too. Comics, it's not just you. We're confused by that same behavior. Yeah, OG, yeah, on YouTube. I don't even trust them in the office. Yeah, me neither, man. Mike Fleisner, my boy Mike, what's up? Glad to see you here. It'd be the same people who ran to get the jab. Yeah. Yeah, Roz, yeah. Question the doctor's authority. That's a good damn policy. Yeah. Yeah, crap, man. Yep. Faith in the good first sergeant. Yep. Just say no to Bush, huh? Yeah, Hearst. Yep. Question the established fact. Shit changes. Ain't that the damn truth? Oh, no. Folding ladder. Yeah, we're not too insignificant. No, not by a long shot. The question is, ladder, can we come together to do it? That's the only question. If we came together, yes, we'd get it done. Yeah, without a doubt, without question. There's no doubt in my mind we'd get it done. Can we come together to do it? That is the only question in my mind. Will we? Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. Yeah, one big ass mistake, America. Yeah, Hearst. CK Legion, what's up? Doing good. Glad to see you here, Legion. Well, I'm glad you accidentally ran into us. Yeah, we have some good conversations here on Gen X Thinks. Lemmy made when he was in Hawkwind and then started the band Motorhead, Nard. Uh-uh. No, I didn't know that. Yeah, if they're in a suit, they're lying, period. Yeah. Yeah. Stay curious. What's up? Stay curious. Yeah. How's it down there in South Africa? Stay curious. Oh, yeah. Lucas. Yeah. That's a badass song, too. I love that song, Cult of Personality. Yep. Oh man, I'm gonna have to listen to that today too. I'm gonna have to look up some Iron Maiden. I gotta listen to some Iron Maiden now and refresh my memory. So that when y'all make Iron Maiden references now, I'll understand what the hell you're talking about. But yeah, Cult of Personality, that one's already stuck in my head. But that song's always stuck in my head every time I hear it or hear about it. I love that song. Tripwire. Did Tripwire show up? There he is. All right. How's everything going, Tripwire? We've been praying for you, man. I hope the wife's doing okay, dude. 20 minutes it went through? Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah, Hearst in Living Color nailed it in the 80s, dude. That song, it's so relevant today. Oh, yeah. Oh, I believe it. Comics. Yeah, a lot of frustrated veterans who were lied to and sent to kill for lies and finally abandoned to their luck. Yeah. Okay. And you support them down there. That's good to hear. Comics, yeah, seriously. Um, it's insane that Mexicans down there in Puerto Vallarta have more respect and give more support to our veterans than we do here in the United States. That 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 blows my mind. Yeah, mankind is universal. Yeah, but they divide us and all this shit. Some divisions are I would say necessary and voluntary. We have our own cultures, and we want to be around people that like the same things we like and enjoy. And have similarities. That's okay to separate by cultures and similar interests and stuff, but to be divided by hatred and and political factions and all this other bullshit, no, no, that kind of stuff is by design. Oh yeah, Lucas. George Carlin, I watched a short clip of a debate. I don't know if it was an actual debate, but he was debating some people, and he was saying basically a lot of what I say now, and they were just like brusque with him. Oh, let's get back to reality, because there's no big conspiracy of people. He's like, there doesn't need to be a conspiracy. Their interests align. If their interests align, there doesn't need to be some kind of shady conspiracy. They own everything. They're buying up everything. They're controlling everything because their interests align. You know, and he makes so much damn sense. Yeah, they have to sue the government to get the benefits that they earned. Information overload sedition. Yeah, yeah. OG. Yep. No, we don't need to fear any, and that's one of our superpowers, I think. OG. I mean, and I'm being honest. We're not afraid. I'm not afraid. So to stand together, all right. Yeah, I don't want to go out there on the street and hold up a sign and by myself and get drug off and thrown in a cell. Yeah. So no, I don't want to do that. But I'm not afraid to stand up with, millions of other Gen Xers. It's just deciding whether we're going to do that or not. Oh, good. Thank you for stopping by and letting us know, Tripwire. We've been worried. Yeah. Everything going better. Home soon. Catch up later. That's great news. Thank you, Trip. I've thought about that. Just inviting all of the UK patriots over here, you know, and throughout all of Europe, and just displacing a lot of the bullshit. But that's the thing. The people we want to come over here, Christopher, they wouldn't want to leave. They're patriots. They don't want to leave their country. They don't want to run away. We get the ones that want to run away. We get the ones who will abandon their families and their country and everything and just run away. They're not going to stand and try to fix their country. The people I would want to come here from the UK will stand their ground in the UK and die for their people and their country. That's the screwed up part of it. The people I would want to invite won't come. It's insane. Yeah. Yeah, George Carlin, he spoke the truth to us, and a lot of us either ignored him or just let it roll off roll off like water off a duck's back. But now, when I look back and I remember sitting there in my 20s and 30s and watching him say the exact same shit. But now I watch it and I get it. I get it. I understand what the dude was saying. He wasn't just trying to be funny. He wasn't just, being over the top to try to get some laughs and shit. He was for real, and he was speaking the truth. The absolute honest truth. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's not the howling in the distance you have to worry about. It's the silent one sitting right outside the firelight watching you. Yeah, yeah, sedition. Well, thank you for being part of our morning folding ladder. I appreciate it, man. And I'm serious. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and contributing to the conversation. Because a lot of times we have um, just kind of silly or meaningless, nostalgic conversations about drinking Mad Dog or whatever. But along with that, we have more important conversations that need to be had. We need to have these conversations and decide what we're going to do. What are we going to do? I mean, it's up to us. Are we going to just Netflix and chill until we're 85 and it's nothing but robots and AI and one world government, and they've outlawed Iron Maiden, because it's not part of Sharia law and all that shit? Is that oh, we can do that. We can decide to do that. I hope so, Gordo. I really hope so. I feel honestly bad for the patriots over there in the UK. Yeah, convincing hackers to erase everyone's debt. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Legion. Okay. Look, he wouldn't come to the USA if his life depended on it. He's X, not stupid. So that's the kind of person I would want to come here. And he wouldn't come. Period. He said, hell no, I wouldn't go over there. But that's the kind of person we need over here. And that's the pickle we're in. The kind of people who are knocking down our doors to get over here are the kind of people we don't want. The kind of people that aren't benefiting. They're sucking us dry. They're leeches. Welcome to the Black Parade. I probably have heard it, comics. I just don't remember the title. Oh, okay. He let you hang out when he watched George Carlin specials. Yeah, Crab Man. Yeah, all right, Sedition. After vacuuming out the pool, you're gonna try making some key lime soda, hard soda. Yeah. Oh, geez, building a submarine. Yeah. I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the aliens showed up. I wouldn't be surprised. Um, I think something's going on. You know what I mean? To find out what's finally going on, you know, uh, to hear something at the door and then sit there. Is there something at the door? I think somebody's at the door. I'm gonna go look, and you open the door and somebody's there. The FedEx guy is there dropping off a package. You're not surprised. You knew someone was. You had a good idea someone was there. Something's there. You're not surprised that it's a FedEx guy and not the UPS guy. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about aliens. When it finally comes out that there's aliens or whatever, I'm not going to be real surprised. I knew something was going on, you know. Or if it's psychic vampire lizards or whatever, I don't know what the hell it's going to be. But no matter what it is, I'm not going to be surprised. Yeah. Do you have weed? Some alien weed. What's up, Hardwire? Glad to see you here, man. Yeah, aliens don't want to land in Texas. They'll end up on the barbecue. be dripping sauce on a on an alien tenderloin. Yeah, yeah. And again, and that's the pickle, Bucky. We wouldn't leave the United States, no matter how bad it got. I wouldn't run away and leave my country and my countrymen to their fate. I wouldn't do that. So, yeah, the people that if the UK invited Americans over there, they wouldn't get the Americans they wanted. You know what I mean? They needed. Sun hasn't risen there yet. Yeah, me neither. It's still dark here. The National Space Patrollers is hiring OG. Yeah, I think they are, Rex. They're not stupid. Yeah, move the rocks at Stonehenge an hour forward, Hurst. That daylight savings time is so stupid now. Yeah, analog. Yeah, the West, all of us. France, England, Norway, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, all. It's all worth fighting for. It's our culture. And once, you think about that. Okay, I was asked that question, are there enough of us? Imagine all the Gen Xers in Norway, Sweden, Germany, England, Ireland, France, Australia, the United States, Canada, all throughout. You know how many hundreds of millions of us there are? Yeah, the government covets your guns too, Oliver. Okay. Gen X vote cleared the path. Yeah, Mexico too. All the Gen Xers in Mexico. If we all stood up together at the same time for the same purpose, for a unified goal, game over. Game over. I don't know. Anthony Clark, what's up? Glad to see you here. Gen X thinks. I wonder if those aliens can hang with the 2020 and a 101 chaser. Johnny Boone still lives on in spirit around here. Yeah, they, yeah, Gen X. We could drink those aliens under the table, couldn't we? We just drink them into extinction. Yeah, Tripwire, Patriots, US, UK, OZ, all the same. Yep. Yep. Yeah, Tripwire. And that's part of the thing that we need to get around. And again, that's the vision. Um, we need, in my opinion, y'all think about this. I mean, national sovereignty, national borders. I'm not talking about globalism. I despise globalism. So don't get me wrong when I say this kind of shit. But all of us in Western civilization can stand up together, just like me and Bucky. Me and Bucky can stand up together for a common goal. But we are still individual people. Well, nations can do that. They can all stand up together and still remain individual nations, but stand up for one united goal. All right. I'm not talking about erasing national borders and all this stuff, because we can still have our national pride. Tripwire can still be proud to be an Australian and still have enough common sense to stand up with the citizens of the United States, citizens of Mexico, citizens of Norway, you know. So yeah, I don't want to erase national borders or anything, but we can all stand up together as individual countries, as individual people, and still maintain our individuality and our national identity. Hold hands around the world. Yeah, a Gen X version of that kumbaya, holding hands bullshit. A rougher, a rougher, more callous version of that. But yeah, yeah, Christopher, something along those lines, but a little more forceful and but not violent. I'm not condoning violence. A little more forceful and energetic. Uh, a little more, sarcastic and rough around the edges. Imagine that kumbaya thing, holding hands around the world with a Gen X spin on it. Throw in some Mad Dog and some Iron Maiden into that, and you'll have an idea of what I'm talking about. Yeah, Gen X International Tripwire. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah, I like that. Oh, okay, Lucas. Yeah, yeah. India population surpassed China in 2023. Huh? I've heard about that. Yeah, spoiled milk, Ross. Is that from Alien Nation where they drank spoiled milk, Roz? That was a pretty damn good movie from back in the day. The mission and philosophy of Restore Britain. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Gordo. Maybe it was. Yeah. Okay. The mission and philosophy of Restore Britain. Okay, Gordo. I'll check it out. Yeah, analog kid. The world needs some tough love. The entire damn world, but especially Western civilization. Yeah. 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 Folding ladder. Yeah. They were liberal. Yeah. But liberalism has gone too far now. And it's like inverted on itself. And it's back to where there are social groups that are more equal than others. And they're allowed to take your rights away because you're offending them and shit. It's all weird. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Comment. Oh, me too. That whole global warming shit and this newer climate change and all that. Yeah. There are cycles larger than hundreds of generations. Yep. Yeah. We should have never got rid of encyclopedias. Alice in Chains. Yeah. Yeah, Anthony. They come to snuff the rooster. Jar of flies. Yeah, Erica. I think so, Christopher. We can't rewind. Um, there's no. I honestly don't think there's fixing it. Um, it's to the point where it needs to be replaced, not fixed. You know, it's so corrupt now that fixing it is not. It's not feasible. It's not possible. Yeah. Tell us what to think. Tell us how to act. Tell us what to believe. Doesn't sound very liberal minded to me. Yeah, Gordo. How is it 5 o'clock already? Oh, yeah. Damn. That was quick. Okay. All right. Climate change. Uh, are you, I'm just a climate change realist. The climate's changing. It always has and it always will. I just, uh, I just don't think that the powers that be should be fear mongering the climate change and you know trying to make everybody feel guilty about it. Uh, trying to blame it on individual people and shit. It's been climate change has been a fact since the Earth first formed into a ball. Millions of years before life ever showed its pretty face on the planet. All right, let's see. I'll say goodbye to Mr. Hurst, hanging with Christopher, Bucky Nave, Jeff Seven, Erica, Felix, Oliver Russ, CK Legion, Sedition, Analog Kid. Who else we got? Gordo, Connecting the Rabbit Holes, NardDB, Folding Ladder. I already said Mr. Hurst, right? Telecomics, Crabman, Bucky, Anthony Clark, Lucas Gabriel, Tripwire, Raziel, Jeff Seven. I know my boy Mike Fleisner was in here at some point. Just Another Guy in the Woods. All right. I think I got everyone. If I did not mention your name, I apologize. But it's tough to get everybody just scrolling up through the chat. But I do appreciate you coming up. Crabman, did I say Crabman? Stay curious. Can't forget stay curious. All right. I think I got everybody. Okay. So, thank y'all for hanging out with me. Thank you for contributing to the conversation. If you're watching and you're not in the comments like on TV or something, I appreciate you too. Doc the Butcher. What's up, Doc? Thanks for dropping by, Doc. I appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out. Um, and I sincerely appreciate your time. Thank you very much for hanging out with me and having these conversations. We need to talk about this stuff. We need to try to figure this stuff out, in my opinion. And we can have fun doing it, you know. It doesn't have to be a pain in the ass and a bunch of arguing and bitter feelings after we have, after we talk about stuff. We can be an example to the rest of the world how people can come together and discuss stuff, not be an echo chamber, and not be a crybaby fight every time somebody says something you don't like or you don't believe in. That's the Gen X way. We can stand up together even if we don't believe in, we don't agree on every damn thing. So we can, whether, let's see, we'll see whether we will or not. So that's one of the things we're figuring out. All right. Okay. You only like arguing with the shit lib. Joe P, what's up, Joe P? Thank you, Joe P. Thanks for the coin too. It's still up here, Joe P. You're a wonderful addition to the nostalgia shelf. Thank you. I still appreciate that, man. DVS, goodbye, DVS. Oh yeah, who we gonna dedicate the spiel to? Let's see. We got to choose someone. We haven't dedicated the spiel to a Mexican yet, have we? All right, telecomics. Back in 1984, we used to call the radio and dedicate a song to someone. So, oh, okay, all right, I'll check the email. Dedicate a song to someone, telecomics, and that's what I do here. I dedicate the spiel to someone at the end of every show. So this one's for you, telecomics. As always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one. Damn, I thought that guy would never shut up. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there, or you can head over to Buy Me a Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I appreciate those of you who do that, and I'll leave that link down in the description as well. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there. Redbubble, Gen X Thinks, and Gen X branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff. That's where I got my Thundar the Barbarian t-shirt. But I'll put that link down in the description too. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out one hell of a lot, so thank you very much those of you who do that. Also, we have the Discord channel now, so if you want to continue the discussion over there on Discord, I'll put that link down in the description as well. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you who support Gen X Thinks with your time or your money. It's all appreciated. I value your time just as much as I do anything else, so thank you, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you.